Let me make sure my shoot. Hey. I'm going to let some people get up in here because I'm going to touch on this. I want to touch on this situation with CJ So Cool getting baptized. Because it's interesting to me that at this point in time, he wants to get baptized. And it just, seems kind of iffy. But at the same time, people can turn over a new leaf. There's no problem with that. But to me, the timing is just interesting. Hey, Squad, what's going on? How you doing? Man, I'm telling you, this situation just gets deep. Like, it seems like the rabbit hole continuously goes deeper and deeper in this situation. Because it makes people start to question a lot of things that's going on. It makes you question a lot of people's motives. How everybody doing today? How y'all doing tonight? I mean, should I say tonight? Boy, this just goes deep. Because all the while he was with royalty, when she was basically practicing her spirituality, with the Most High, not, following these holidays and all this sort, I'm just curious to why, he wants to do it now, especially with all the allegations going on. It seems quite funny. It's like you kind of look at it like he ain't never did something this dramatic ever. He ain't never wanted to publicize, his church, type events. Oh, it's a BMW. Hey, how you doing? Awesome. Nico, Pyro, how y'all doing today? Hi, all everybody out there. I want to say I'm thankful for the 1,000 subscribers, and I'm gonna continue pushing forth and bringing y'all great content. And like I said before, CJ getting baptized at this point in time, to me, it's just like it couldn't be more perfect timing, right? With all this stuff that he's going through at the moment. Hey, how you doing, Sarah? It seems very interesting at this point in time. He wants to literally get baptized because I think he's trying to prove something. I think he wants somebody to believe something. He wants you to believe that he's not that type of person. He would never do such a thing to Jalea. Well, he'd never do that to anybody's child. And I didn't touch on, but I got a video going, coming out about the baptism, with I think Simple Michelle came out there as well. And he had Kevin with him. So it's just funny to me though. And then, like I told you in my last video, if you got a brother that practices tarot cards, it would have been good to bring him to the church as well. It would have been good to bring Kenneth. It would have been good to even, bring some people that in his family, like his sister. Like, it's weird that nobody even knows CJ So Cool got a sister. You would never know if he had a sister if you didn't watch that video, with his grandma's home that just looked at tore up and destroyed that he didn't give a damn about. But now that he's going through all this mess, now you probably gonna find out he got a sister sooner or later because she gonna speak out. I'm pretty sure his sister gonna speak out. But it's funny though when you look at the whole situation In all the years that he was with royalty, you would think that he would have been baptized. Because at one point in time, royalty was really pushing for, spirituality and truth. And he never got baptized. But now, with these allegations, everybody finding out that, certain things about him, he wants to, change the trajectory of who he is. And that's really what's going on right now. He wants to change your mindset so you can feel like he's more godly. That's why he compared himself to Job. Job was a perfect and upright man in his generation. He actually prayed for his family, sacrificed for his family. He lost his family because the devil just wanted to test Job, and God allowed him to do so. But CJ's comparing himself to Job as if he is an upright individual. Like he never accused children of basically, being a part of the shooting. So it's a lot of those situations that you got to look at. That's interesting to me, man. I find it very crazy that he wants to go get baptized in the midst of all this, and that he really wants you to believe that he's really godly, when all the while he does the complete opposite. Exactly. You're supposed to be baptized to be cleansed with the word. When you think about baptism, he said, make yourself clean through the word. So when somebody goes to a prosperity gospel preaching church, you go into these churches that's high profile. They're not going to really give you the word of God. They're not going to really be out there trying. Or what did he do? I'm just saying at the end of the day, he, like CJ So Coolman, got baptized basically with the allegations going on with him and Jalea. And, basically Jalea is claiming that he basically did something to her, all the while for for the last, I think it was for 2 years at So Cool Land and thus forth. So he's basically denying that he did anything. And I find it interesting that he's saying that he wants to go get baptized. And you got him gambling. You got him now getting baptized after he was gambling. But he claimed he's for the Most High. And then you go to these mega churches that basically publicize and broadcast, what they do in their church. And they're not really authentic. They ain't going to really preach the word of God in these churches. They're not going to do so. And then I'm not, I don't know anything about that church where he went and got baptized at. But at the end of the day, when you really want to be for God, you ain't even be just pick a mega church to go to so you can feel good about yourself. You'll really display that. Your fruits will display, what you about. And CJ doesn't show any aspect of anything godly to me at all. And that's the wild thing. He doesn't display anything godly. Hey, how you doing, Reed? How you doing? And he doesn't display anything to me that's godly. I mean, this dude literally didn't help his grandmother at all. He doesn't help nobody in his family. His brothers, everybody's still struggling. And it's almost like he's just out here bullshitting. Hey, Carmen, how you doing? Yeah, I see. I want to say thank you all to all my supporters out there and everybody that's been supporting the channel. I greatly appreciate it. And like I said before, I'm going to be bringing way more content, diving in deep, and really just, breaking a lot of shit down that a lot of people just don't want to get into. Because a lot of people are missing these things. It's just like with his grandma in the house. He literally didn't want her to speak. He didn't want her to speak at all. Literally, she was going to say, nah, you passed by my house multiple times. You passed by my house. You didn't want to stop by. You didn't want to help. And CJ overtalked. He was like, oh, no, let me tell you something. Because he does that a lot. He gaslights. And once you realize that this dude put on the show, you'll realize that everything is all part of his master his schemes. His schemes is really just to make you believe that he's going to, be this upright individual, but in the background, he's screwing over everybody. Same thing he did with CJ on 32s. Same thing he did with Nike. Same thing he did with Bake 100. It's like the list goes on. You can't run from that. But not, oh yeah, you got that right. You cannot run from God, because the Bible states that God's eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. So you cannot run from that. You can't run from God. Everything that's in the dark will come to the light. I did a verse on the video that I'm gonna upload about his baptism, and it says like this: many have pierced themselves with sorrows. You know why? Because when you give yourself over to mammon for the love of money, have caused many to error in the faith. When you literally give your whole life to money and that's all you believe in, you fall like CJ. CJ had the perfect situation. He had his family, he had the money, he had the status, and he allowed himself to fall so horribly. Jay, wait, why are you tight on? Like, no, it's not tight. Let me tell you what the difference is. What's tight is another man broadcasting his life, and you have so many children followers. You have a lot of kid followers, right? So if you got a lot of children watching you, why would you show children how to treat, their mother in the future, their grandma in the future? Why would you show other children out there basically to not take accountability, to have low morale? That's what I'm saying. So if you want to say that, don't broadcast your life. Don't broadcast anything that can literally influence someone. Kids are very impressionable. If you got kid fans and you're uploading, you got millions of views in the past, and these people are growing up watching your content, then you're influencing the next generation. So the moment you put your business or anything online, you allow people to have an opinion. And people have the right to give their perspective on any situation. If you put your life out there in any kind of manner, anybody can say it. You want to post a picture on Facebook, on Instagram, you give people the right to comment under your picture. That's point blank, period. So, but if you're going to be influencing church, that's like saying, with video games or with these love and hip hop shows. There's a lot of things going on in the world that people should actually voice their opinion on, because it will stop a lot of the negative and nefarious actions that come from watching things of that nature. Well, I don't know too much about him. I thought he was a stand-up king. I see. Yeah, at the end of the day, that was the case until a lot of things were basically exposed. At the end of the day, if somebody, at first, my kids basically introduced me to CJ So Cool. I didn't know anything about him. Hey, yeah, make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure when y'all coming in, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Basically, when my kids introduced me to him, I thought he was a stand-up guy as well. But then again, when the cops and everybody did their investigation when he got shot, and then you still afterwards blame children, his stepchildren, for the shooting, that to me is nonsense. That's crazy work. And you got to imagine, these kids got to go to school with other children. They have to be around other children. And you're literally blaming children for a shooting when you had detectives investigating everything. You're still pushing that agenda. So when kids go to school, other children can say that they were involved. That's nonsense to me. He's atheist, brother Kenneth attends baptism along with us. Oh, really? No, they dip into the... Hey, let me tell you something. When you got a lot of hypocrites in the church, see, people think that, if you go to church, it's going to be godly people. Nah, that's why Christ really went up against the Pharisees and the scribes, because like he said, they have a form of godliness, but they deny the power thereof. Meaning, a lot of people appear to be godly. Just like he said, the church on the outside looked nice, but in the inside was full of dead man's bones. The inside was full of dead man bones. And he basically destroyed it by being selfish and prideful. See, the thing about CJ So Cool was he wanted to keep up with the Joneses. He wanted to continue trying to make himself appear better than the next man when he already had a great situation. If you already have a good situation, why try to tear it down by keeping up with people that don't give a damn about you? Is it true, but have these YouTube only show You the good. That's true. That is true, Jay. But they only show you the good. They never show you what's going on in the background. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people only showing you 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour of their life. You don't really know what's going on in the background. Because remember, back in the day, it was a lot of sitcoms. You had shows like Martin, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You had Family Matters. Nowadays, that's no more. Now you got YouTube channels. So now you got people, broadcasting their life 24/7, and you really don't know what's going on in the background. You think that's reality. People got to put on the show. They got to get likes. They got to get this. They got to get subscribers. They got to make money. That man got a tenure. Yeah, exactly. CJ, like CJ on 32 said, just like Bandman Kevo said, he lived in a warped reality. He think life is like child's play. He think you can just talk shit about somebody and be cool with them the next day. That's what he believes. He don't have no ownership, no accountability. That's the problem with him. So you're absolutely right, Reckless. He thinks that he can just do whatever he pleases and use anybody he wants and just continue like nobody give a damn. But a lot of people are affected by his actions. Just like his daughter. You got Kamari, who's greatly affected by his actions. But nobody cares enough in that situation. Not even Nike cares enough to make sure that she has a decent upbringing. Nike don't even give a damn. Like Lexi Taylor all know about royalty daughter. CJ on 32 was not the first. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, we know that CJ on 32 wasn't the first one to bring the situation, Rose. We know that because they showed the text messages showing all the way back. I believe it was April. So he knew about it. I think he was hoping that it wouldn't come out. Now that I think about it, though, when Royalty had got that mansion, when she did a whole little thing, they was wondering why he kept calling. And now that I think about it, when he kept calling her on FaceTime, and basically the kids were upset that he kept calling her. Now that I kind of realize why he was calling. Now that's why he was saying shout out to Royalty Nation and all that nonsense, because I think he wanted people to believe that he was really for royalty and the kids. Now that I think about it. And it said Nike made a video. Oh, I don't know if Nike made a video, but she did out to check to see what's going on. If she's speaking on the situation, addressing the live accusation. Oh, that's interesting. Like, she actually made a video about that. That'd be good as well. I knew that Nike was going to come to his aid, though, because when she got in that car wreck, she kept, worrying about that car of her own life. Even CJ said it. He was like, "Now you more worried about the car than your own life." And for I know someone that has been through essay and accused the church as quickly to throw. Oh, yeah. But you got to understand, though, that's how people hide in plain sight. Remember, even the devil disguises himself as an angel of light. So anytime something happens, people will actually try to put on a holiness about themselves so they can throw people off. And I ain't saying that he did it, because remember, these are still allegations. But at the end of the day, though, it's still kind of weird that you would try to go get baptized at this moment in time. That's the thing that I was like looking at kind of iffy. I was like, why are you trying to get baptized right now? Like, you could have been doing this in the background. I wouldn't show nobody. And the Bible actually says, don't put your arms before men. So you don't need to show people, that you're for God, because you already received your reward. The Bible says you already receive your reward when you put your arms before men, meaning when you put things about your godly nature before men. Because people going to believe, oh, yeah, he's really for God because he went and got baptized, or he's really for God because he's going to church. So a lot of people think that that's the reward, but God would rather have you be in your closet by yourself with no one around, you praying to him, having a one-on-one session. So that's one thing. So when a lot of people see CJ So Cool doing this, but a lot of his fans, I think, they don't really have a lot of common sense, because they tend to believe everything he puts out there. CJ has flaws, but also some. No, I ain't never said. Let me tell you one thing. I told y'all I'm not biased, bro. I'm not a biased person. So I don't look at what royalty does as perfect. I think she's far from perfect. Just like CJ's far from perfect. It's what I think, though, at the end of the day is what you display. The Bible states to know a man by his fruits, right? So at least royalty ain't never blame no kids for like a shooting or nothing like that publicly. She ain't never tried to make kids get into adult situations. Like CJ continuously did that over and over. Talking to children any kind of way, telling them, I told them to get out. Like, why would you feel good about telling children to get out of your house? As though that she has ways who are we to judge. Yeah, but understand one thing. The Bible does state as well that the righteous man can judge of all things. So the natural man know nothing of godly things, but the spiritual man can judge of all things. What that means to be spiritual is that you literally living a life obeying the law, statutes, and commandments of God and the ordinances of God, and that you actually have the Holy Spirit. She accused Nike of authority. Oh yeah, at the end of the day, now with the toilet water situation, and with, I think she did say that Kamari did something to Cordea. I believe that she did say that. How he called his daughter. Oh yeah, that was. Oh yeah, I remember that. I think that's called what? Carolee. Yeah, I remember he said that. That was wild. That was wild actually. I don't even want to say that, but that was wild. But I believe that Royalty did say that about the toilet water situation, but she did bring it to light first, and then CJ brought it up after she did, and then CJ tried to put it on the twins by saying, "Oh, who gave you toilet water?" Which we don't know what happened off camera, because CJ could have easily said, "Did your mother give you toilet water?" So you don't really know the truth about that, even though Royalty brought it first. See, that's the thing. It's like being in class. Who tell the teacher first? You know, it's like, it's those kind of kid games going on. Prisoners often baptized when they are in the wrong. Exactly. Look what happened with a lot of people. Like, I think his name was Jeffrey Dahmer. He did the same thing. He went and got baptized in prison before his situation took off. So a lot of people do this. This is the tactic people use to throw you off, you know, so you don't actually focus on at what's at hand. You know, manipulation is when a person focuses on the effects instead of the cause. That's what manipulation is. When you focus on the effects instead of the cause. So when people be like, oh yeah, look how everybody's acting. Look how Royalty's acting. She's kind of, you know, not able to, you know, do right by the kids now because she's kind of suffering financially. And then you got CJ So Cool, his channel, he sold 70%. He has none of his cars no more. He's falling off. But people got to understand, there's one common denominator. One common denominator. And that's CJ So Cool. Because he caused it all. J-Way Truckins, you weird. Oh yeah, that person, I ain't worried about that individual. There's always the people that don't even have a picture or anything. You know, they love doing that. I don't mind people, you know, let them say what they got to say. Because they ain't got no truth in them anyway. They can't even speak it. If they want to speak and do what they do, let them go on their own channel and make a video. You know, you go ahead and speak on it. All right, Satan stay in heaven, God, until he was cast. Exactly. Remember, Satan is called the honorable cherub, right? He's the honorable cherubim, right? The anointed one. He's the cherubim that covereth. So, at the end of the day, when you think about it, Satan was the closest to God. And remember, it says keep your friends closer to keep your enemies closer. So Satan was allowed to do what he did in the Garden of Eden because everybody has free will. I'm not saying that he did it, but I don't like how he could be using God as a joke. Yeah, like I said before, that's why the one of the main commandments is don't use the Lord's name in vain. And you have a lot of people out there that will consistently use God as a cover-up. Like I always say one thing, don't use God as a spare tire. If he was guilty, why would he be taking her to court? Hey, that's like saying, that's like, look at cases like Casey Anthony. Look at cases with individuals that have went to court, like Amber Heard, when it came down to Johnny Depp. A lot of people that are guilty, if you got money, obviously, money talks. Even the Bible states that money is a defense. Money is a defense. Plus, my daughter is well protected. Exactly. Well, If your daughter's well protected, that's a good thing. So, but at the end of the day, that doesn't mean that somebody else's child wasn't exposed to something. You know how many times your kids go to school with other children that have been exposed to, SA? That happens a lot. A lot of children get exposed to things underneath the same roof as another child that was never exposed to something. This happens consistently in life. You have to understand one thing. When it comes down to those type of situations, they're unique. You got a lot of people in life that can go through something under the same roof as another individual, and they had no clue they was going through it. They had absolutely no clue. So I would say when it comes down to CJ being baptized, like I said before, I'm not saying he did it because it's still allegations, but I'm not going to deny what Jalea said, like I keep saying over and over again. Charlene lies, and lies about serious matters. Look, they both been caught lying on a plethora of situations, both of them. When I listen to these kids talk as a teacher, 90% of these young girls have been. Oh yeah, let me tell you something, and not just girls neither. See, a lot of people think it's just girls, Carol Lee, but it's not just girls. Boys have been touched as well. You got a lot of. See, this is the stigma in life, right? On both ends, you got a lot of children that's been touched in life. A lot of children have been touched and never speak up about it because they feel ashamed. And a lot of people, they believe that they did something wrong. So if they do come out and say something about it, they're going to think that somebody's going to judge them. That's why when people say, oh, why they didn't come out at this time? Well, a lot of people are not going to come out because they don't want to face backlash. They don't want people to think that they're involved in any kind of manner. Well, mostly girls are saying. Yeah, I mean, like I said before, because more men, boys, remember, there is a stigma. There is there's two sides to that coin at the end of the day. There is a bias when it comes down to men speaking up about SA. Look what happened with Jonathan Majors. CJ had the perfect life, and God gave him a good family. He became corrupt by it. Yeah, exactly. A lot of people become corrupt by money. A lot of people. I think money really just brings out what somebody always was. It just amplifies it. I think people amplify who they are once they get money because now you got the freedom to do what you always wanted to do. See, when you're restricted, you're not able to do a lot. When you got to live check to check, you got to be a little bit more, you got to itemize. You can't really just go out there and spend whatever you want. It's restrictions on your life. But once you get money, you're able to do whatever the hell you want to do. The things that you always dreamed of, all your fantasies, you can live them out. But a lot of people are always going to be restricted when they don't have the means. So at the end of the day, that is what it is. So we just got to look at it like that. But like I said before, his mother would do anything for clout. Like I said before, his mother would do anything for clout. And as long as, CJ allows her to come back and forth in and out of his life, is going to be what it is. How could Jalea be happy and interact with her? Oh, yeah. Now, see, that's another thing. Now, that's why it's two sides to a coin. That's why a lot of people don't, look at the situation and they're confused. But a lot of people still be around the very person that did things to them because they have a relationship with them outside of that. That can be, somebody's auntie, uncle, sister, brother. It doesn't really matter. When it's outside of that situation, they still have a connection. That's why it's called soul ties. A lot of people have soul ties with people. So as long as as long as people have soul ties to individuals, you can still interact with them, even if they are, doing traumatic things to you. He did or did. I'm just saying people are accused of things that turn out to be lies. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying, like with you, Jay. At the end of the day, yes, even if it turns out to be false, right? CJ's life is still affected by the allegations. Let's think of it that way. That is true. A lot of people's lives will still be affected. But think about it. If it turns out that it's true, and then people were vouching for him, it's going to look bad either way. But you got to think about it too. And I like what you said, I think, Leah. Like at the end of the day, people that tend to mistreat individuals have a history in their family of this, disruption. Like, look at his mom. His mom ran to the streets and abandoned him and his siblings, everybody. Now, CJ had attachment issues. He always went after women with children because he always was looking for his mother in other women. He always wanted, that's why when he saw royalty in the kids, he thought about himself and his siblings. That's why he decided to stay with royalty, because he saw himself in a situation with a mother that was there. So he just couldn't understand why royalty stayed, protecting her kids, providing for her kids, even in a screwed up situation, and why his mother gave him up. He didn't understand that. That's why getting with royalty and other women like Samantha that had children before was a way to kind of validate his existence as a person, because he couldn't understand why his mother left him. So, but that's the end. That's how it is. He just has a childish mindset because he was never really able to grow. We don't have a mother and a father in the home. I'm not saying this for everyone, but children that tend to grow up without a mother and a father tend to have low morale, because when you're out there, you're consistently seeking family in the wrong places. And it does happen unless you have people in your life that are going to truly guide you, people that are going to truly be there for you and actually uplift you. CJ's mother never came back. Yeah, it's really sad. Exactly. And that's why I said it was sad, Rose, when it came down to him going to his grandma's house. Because with his grandmother, she was the one that kept them together, that took them in. So why would you not at least buy her a new home, make sure she's straight? That's why I was looking at it like that. Because it's nasty when you try to put it on the city. Why you give a damn about the city fixing your grandma's house when you got all that money? Doesn't make any sense. And yes, people can be forgiven. Whatever at 52. Let me put it like this. There is forgiveness, but remember one thing. Don't allow yourself to be fooled. The Bible does state to test every spirit. Test every spirit. That's why he said, be not quick to forgive a person. You're not supposed to just forgive somebody that fast. Make sure that they're actually living a godly life. Not just one day he went from gambling, then the next day he want to go get baptized. And you'll believe a person that fast? See, a lot of people got to understand, you got to make sure that you have discernment. A lot of people lack discernment in this day and age. When you don't have no discernment, you'll believe whatever somebody throw in front of you. That's why the Bible even states, doesn't the ear try words? Meaning you can listen to somebody, but you shouldn't take in every last aspect of their life, because you have to see it for yourself. You got to make sure people are displaying that type of life to you. But if you just believe what somebody tell you, remember the Bible states that the simple believe anything. Oh, you talking about CJ's mom? Yeah, you know what's funny about CJ's mom? She would be forgiven if she actually acted like a mother. She doesn't act like a mother at all. Look at her videos that she does. His mom literally wrote on the video, she said, at CJ so cool. Why would you put at CJ so cool and rather say my son is going through a tough time? Why would you put at CJ so cool? That's how you know she just in it for clout. Because it was really about her being a mother. Why would you have your phone up when your son is crying? That video I did when CJ got shot and the whole family came over. Why would you just have your phone up when you see Kenneth over there crying about a situation? She's laughing because CJ thought that wasn't his real brother because they was orphans. And she was laughing about it. And this is the type of person you're saying that, oh, you should just forgive her because she's just saying to forgive her? Or she's no longer, basically showing that she's in the streets, but she hasn't once showed that she's a real grandmother? She never showed she's a real grandmother. Not one time. If she cares a lot, prove it. Prove where she actually shows she cared a lot, other than monetizing her son's drama, monetizing her son's baby mother and her children drama online. She's been. Being at somebody's house does not prove anything. She flew over there because CJ needed her support to make people believe that he actually turned over a new leaf. Where was she the whole time? You know what's funny? Okay, say it like this. Ain't she in Gary, Indiana, whatever the hell she's at, right? You never see his mother with Kamari, just spending time with her granddaughter. Just going on a, you know, brunch, whatever the case may be. You never see her just actively being in her grandchildren's lives at all. You never see it. But you always see her on live talking shit about other people. That's the funny thing. You never see her with her grandchildren in real life. I'm talking about just showing a video of her going out to dinner or taking them on a walk or taking them to the park or just having quality time. You never see her doing that. Oh, she doesn't videotape everything, but she will videotape talking about other people, slandering other people, talking shit literally all day long at her age. All she does is talk trash about other women. You know what's funny? Okay, say it like this. She talks trash about royalty, who literally kept her children, never gave them up to the system, but she allowed her kids to go into foster care. She should at least give her a little credit. I ain't saying that royalty is the best or she's perfect or whatever the case may be. I'm just saying, looking at another woman that didn't give her kids up and you're talking shit about her, but you let your kids go into the system. Think about that. You gotta think about that. Yeah, royalty was a good mom and she was humble. Yeah, at the end of the day, like I said before, royalty still went out and worked, still did what she had to do to keep her children. But what did CJ So Cool mom, what did simple Michelle do to keep her kids? She didn't do anything to keep her kids, not one thing. There's not one thing she did that kept her kids from going into the system, not one thing. She didn't do one thing. And that's all I'm saying. If she can't prove that she's a great grandmother at least by spending time with her children, but you can go online and argue with your, I guess, whoever that dude is, Carlos. I don't know if that's her boyfriend or fiance, whatever the case may be. But she literally dated that dude's brother before dating him. And all she does is argue with this guy. Yeah, she didn't even bring a gift. That is true. That is true, D. That is true. She didn't even bring a gift. She just went there and was acting weird, literally following them around the house, and they didn't really want to be around her because they felt her energy. So they kept moving around the house, just like, you know, going in different directions, and she'd just keep trying to come up behind them, and you'd be like, "What the hell?" So at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't see Michelle as a grandmother. I mean, sometimes grandmothers got a certain energy to them. You know, they got a certain persona and aura to them, and that's something that Michelle doesn't have. I don't think she has that type of aura that she's going to literally go out of her way to spend time with her grandchildren and actually be a part of their lives. You can tell Kamari don't know nothing about Michelle. You can tell she don't know nothing about her. You can tell. And you can tell, look at Kenneth's children, right? Kenneth got a lot of kids. I think he got, like, what, 7 to 8 kids, 9 kids? I bet Kenneth's children don't know nothing about Michelle. I bet they know nothing of this woman. So if you're saying that she turned over a new leaf, if I was out of my children's life like that and I let them go to the system, then I let my mother raise my children, you think I want to come back in their life if I truly forgiven myself and I actually turned over a new leaf to God, that I wouldn't want to, you know, be with them every single waking moment, apologize, go online, even tell them that, you know what, I will fight until the end of time to make sure that I'm in their life and their grandchildren's life. You know, she doesn't act like that. Even if you live across the country, you can still, instead of getting online, having a panel of people talk shit, why not go online and have a panel of your children and just talking to them and just saying, hey, you know, showing people that. But you can show everything else. You can show you fighting with the dude online. You can show you guys walking down the street, riding a bike, walking to the store and arguing. You can show all that type of shit. Her daughter that got kids, she could be spending time. Hey, at the end of the day, like I said before, if you're going to display certain activities and things online? Why not show good things? Why only show the bad? You can show good things as well. You don't always have to show negativity. And that's the thing with a lot of people. If you're going to say that Michelle is actually forgiving and she cares about her grandchildren, she cares about her children, why not display that? Why only show negativity? Why only talk about another woman who actually kept her children? Why talk about other people who have kids that take care of their kids? She talked about CJ on 32s. Michelle got other grandchildren in the state's care. Oh, wow. Other grandchildren in the state's care. Her deceased daughter's sister. Oh, wow. So they're actually in the state's care. I didn't know nothing about that. So the people that's saying that, she takes care of her other grandchildren from her daughter and basically her daughter's kids are in the state's care. That's wild. Well, that's another thing too. It's hard to believe CJ so cool when he said somebody practiced witchcraft and things of that nature, because we know for certain his brother practices witchcraft because he showed tarot cards. He was actually doing a spiritual reading on screen. I ain't never seen royalty practice any type of spiritual reading or no tarot cards on screen. But if he can prove that, like I said before, CJ say a lot of shit, but he never have receipts. At least have a receipt. He has no receipts of these things. Yeah, exactly. CJ so quick to call somebody a witch when your own brother has tarot cards doing readings of people. He can be putting curses on people. To be honest with you, Kendall could have just said that all the times that CJ so cool treated him bad, he could have actually influenced the situation with royalty and him splitting up. You never know. A lot of people be doing shit in the background. You kind of got to pay attention to things like that. A lot of people overlook certain things like that. He could have literally been the one because he openly plays with tarot cards. I mean, that's wild to me. I ain't never seen, and mind you, CJ so cool called royalty's mother his mom. Like, he really at that point in time believed that royalty's mother was the mother that he always wished to have. But then now that you're separated, now that you got allegations, now you want to say they're witches, right? I have never cared to see to those grandchildren. Yeah, that's wild though. Her main concern are the twins. Those are her exactly. That's why she always want to go see the twins. That's why she always care only about CJ so cool. You never hear her talk about Kenneth. You never hear her talk about the other siblings. You never. Jinx. You don't hear her talk about Jinx. It's not working for Kenneth. His ass still broke. But think about it though. That is true. But I believe, when you're associated with things like that and you defile yourself, you gotta understand that can trickle down. And CJ probably got a lot of that from his situation with his brother. That's probably why he fell apart as well. Remember, the Bible does state that a fool and his money will soon part ways. Search for one of Kenneth's lines. He admitted he's atheist. Exactly. Oh, yeah, he atheist, because if you play with tarot cards, you don't even believe in the God of the Bible. You believe in, familiar spirits, things of that nature. Batman Kevo and his friends also said Charlene. Yeah, but you can't trust Bandman Kelvin. That dude is a troll. He even called himself a troll. Like, hey, if somebody tell you something, you better believe them. And I'm not saying it's not, like I said before. CJ So Cool says a lot of things about people that don't turn out to be true. But Bandman Kevo is truly a troll. This dude has literally took the police on a high-speed chase. Literally, he didn't scammed a lot of people. There's a lot of videos about people saying that Bandman Kevo scammed them. So you got to be careful when you listen to certain people. Yeah, and Batman wasn't even around like that. He really came around. To be honest with you, that Bandman Kevo situation was a complete setup, because all he did was come around CJ So Cool to really, when he went on that trip to Miami, how the hell did a girl that they knew back in the day end up on a yacht that used to run errands for them, and then all of a sudden that's the same girl that CJ So Cool ends up having relations with, and that they got to stop her from blackmailing him? You got to think about it. How the hell did that even turn out? They could have put that all, orchestrated that all together to make sure they get money out of CJ. Oh, you know what? I can make her go away. I'll make her go away. That, she said that she could be pregnant. I'll make it go away. Just give me the money. You know, that could be a whole setup right there. Remember that mess. I live in Louisiana and they think everybody here. Hey, you know what? Oh yeah, in Louisiana, that's one thing. Places like that that's been known, you know, throughout America. You know, there's a lot of places in the United States that, especially Louisiana, that they say practice voodoo. But you know, it's just certain environments. But you know, to be honest with you, it's a stigma that's put on a lot of group of people. Plus, Kevin said, you know, hey, Lexi was a carpet walker. You know, remember she was a high end car girl. She was the kind of girl that you got to spend thousands and thousands to hang out with. Like you just can't hang out with them type of women. When you go to Vegas, you usually find these type of women in the casinos, and they're the ones that you see these older men with, and they're like these sugar babies, you know. And that's what CJ went and got. He went and found this woman who was a high end carpet worker, and they usually cover up their work by saying they're real estate agents and things of that nature. No, listen, you gotta understand something. There's a certain nature of a woman that acts like Lexi. No, I'm telling you, there's a certain nature of a woman that acts like Lexi. When people gotta understand, they saying escort. No, I ain't saying she's an escort. What I say is there's a difference between an escort, which is a low end level individual, and then a high end call girl. A high end call girl is an individual that you literally date, but you have to spend money to stay with them. If you stop spending money, then they will no longer be with you. If you lose money, they're out the door. That's what these sugar babies are. But they can be associated with that group. That's what I'm saying. They're associated with that group. So that's what a high-end car girl is. They will actually be your girlfriend as long as you're paying them an allowance. It's different than the standard escort, if you want to call it. If you want to put it like that, it's different from that because you don't got to really pay. You know, you pay one time and have an interaction with an escort. But with these high-end car girls, you got to, you know, you pay them to be your girlfriend monthly, yearly. If she not have a car, she would not. Hey, I don't know what Lexi got, to be honest with you. She said she had a house, you know, the house that she was staying in with her mom. So I don't know. Yeah, paid companion, basically. Yeah, exactly. You have a paid companion, and that's what she does. Watch that episode with CJ So Cool when he brought all those girls when he was trying to pick out one. When he brought all those girls over there, look at all of Lexi's friends. You can tell what type of thing that they're on. Look at all her friends. They all have the same aura, the same persona. Believe me when I tell you, they are like a paid companion. And it's been proven. He done left comments. He literally said that Lexi was trying to get 300,000 from him. You gotta think about it. Literally, you gotta think about that for a moment. So it's a lot of things that you gotta pay attention to, and when you actually see it for what it is, you'll realize that there's a lot of, you know, things in the background. That's why Bandman Kevo said there's a lot of things in the background. If D-Lo was to speak, y'all see a lot of shit. You will see a lot of things unfold if D-Lo was to speak on a lot of these matters. Let me see. CJ is strict. Yeah, exactly. Then they said, I see it, her clothes. Do you think, yeah. Like I said before, if D-Lo was to speak on a lot of these matters, boy, it'd be problems. But I think D-Lo signed like a FDA or some shit he signed. I don't know. I mean, NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. I think he signed something that won't allow him to speak on this matter. Because D-Lo don't want nothing to do with this shit. So, but like I said before, if you pay attention, you'll notice a lot of it. No, he's not going to speak because number one, like I said before, I think CJ had him involved in something as well. So if he did speak on something, it would implement himself. That's why I think D-Lo doesn't want to speak on it because he don't want to get in trouble himself, or he don't want to be caught up in the mix because it would compromise his family. And he is like I said, he is a faithful individual. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, you truly do not know with D-Lo. What really, why he's kind of being quiet, but you can kind of tell that there's something in place that's not allowing him to speak. That's what I believe. I believe he's kind of like caught in a situation where he can't talk. But CJ on 32s was sparing, CJ So Cool for a long time. I mean, he didn't speak up for a little minute, but I think he got tired of it after a while. And obviously, when people get tired of you bashing them, talking shit about them, sooner or later, they going to fight back. And that's what CJ on 32s is doing. Then 10 years he talking about. Exactly. Let me see. D-Lo knows a lot, especially he was. Exactly. Like I said before, thoughts of Bree. Believe me, D-Lo know a lot of shit. Lexi got rid of CJ and 32. Yeah. Let me tell you something. The reason why Lexi, this how you know she was a paid companion, right? He had to get rid of basically Bakes, CJ on 32s, because they would have figured it out. They would have learned that she was a paid companion. So she had to make sure they ass was out of the picture. That's why he was doing a lot of pillow talking with Lexi. They would have found out. Believe CJ on 32s know the game. Remember, CJ on 32s, he was in the streets for real. Like, they weren't in the streets. They would have, believe me, CJ on 32s would have found out real quick. Why do you think he put that post up on Instagram and said, "Oh yeah, you notice that the sink is the ship and sailed over there. She needs to come over here." Because CJ on 32s know that she gonna go where the money at. Believe me, Lexi gonna go where the money at. And you gotta think about it. All these millionaires that she was introducing CJ So Cool to. I'm like looking at CJ So Cool. You're not curious to how she met all these people? She's supposed to be a real estate agent. And there's never no proof that she sold any houses. Where's her accolades that she actually sold houses? But you mean to tell me she know millionaires? How the hell she know NASCAR drivers? I'm telling you, man, this chick is a freaking paid companion, a high-end car girl, what you want to call it. And that's truly what it is. And people just failed, they just don't want to see it. They want to believe that she's a great companion for CJ. Exactly, all her sugar daddy cut. Hey, that's facts right there. That's facts right there, D. She basically took this dude around other men that paid to be with her for X amount of months and basically said, "Hey, CJ, you need to meet some of these dudes. I can get you in contact with them." And then guess what? They do no business with them because they already know. They probably mad at him. They're probably like, "Damn, he paid her a little bit more to be with her for a little longer. But don't worry, once his money run dry, we'll get her back." That's why they didn't do shit for CJ. Yeah, she's a decorator. You got that right. Because at the end of the day, he literally don't see what people fail to realize. How the hell does she know all these millionaires? Hey, how you doing, Linda? You like, how the hell does she know all these millionaires? That's why he's broke. Remember, he spent $100,000 on dinner dates, Linda. He spent $100,000 on dinner dates. You got to think about how crazy that is. But he couldn't buy his grandmother a new house. He got rich off of raffles and YouTube. I mean, I don't know. You talking about what? CJ So Cool or CJ on 32s? But when you look at it, how does she know all the millionaires? Why was she introducing him to these men who she know damn well she was paid to be with? So, of course she was a high-end car girl. Of course his mother wants to be, part of that So Cool world dynasty because she wants some of that money. Of course. Hey, he bought his grandmom a $10,000 car that wasn't worth shit. That wasn't worth anything. Couldn't spend that money to make sure his family was straight. That's why. Exactly. And you know what a lot of people keep saying? They keep saying that, oh, why you talking about it? Let me tell you something. If you had that kind of money, you mean to tell me your family wouldn't have houses? Your family wouldn't have land? You wouldn't have different, investments that you would never go broke? This man literally has no house, no condominiums. He has no cars. He has no land. He has no stock. He has nothing. I can't downsize this man. You don't even know. He answered. No. Like I said before, I'm not biased. I don't think there's still allegations at this moment. So to me, I don't know if he did or he didn't. So that's where I stand. Because I'm not going to falsely accuse someone of doing something, because that's terrible. And another thing is, I'm not going to deny what Jalea is saying. So like I said before, I got daughters, so I'm not going to ever deny what somebody else is saying. That white girl, Lexi, said on Instagram that if she tells the world what C. Diddy got behind closed doors. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember she said something like that. But remember, Royalty know a lot of shit too, because when he was in Miami, remember she found all those phones that CJ So Cool had she found I think 5 or 6 phones he had. So why hasn't Jalea spoken about it? You know what? That's one of my questions as well. I'm waiting for. Don't get me wrong. A lot of victims or people, and like I said before, there's still allegations. I don't know, but I still don't want to discredit her. But I would think that if you're going to put something out there to a certain degree, at least you don't got to go into detail, but she can at least just say that, I'm going through a tough time, and please be patient with me and my family as we get past this situation and try to move forward in our lives. She can just say something like that. You don't have to go into grave detail, but at least, you can say something like that, because at the end of the day, like I said before, if this turns out to be true, it's going to be crazy. But if it turned out not to be true, it's going to be crazy as well, because a lot of people that was vouching for it, it's going to look crazy. But we don't know what's going on. Exactly. We don't know how the investigation is going. We don't know if there's a court date. We don't know, if CJ already been, approached by the police. We don't know anything for this matter. We don't, at this point in time, we truly don't know. After living in the house of Lexi, Nike, and Tavy for 2 years now, all of a sudden he's holy. Exactly. And why not? You know what? This has been a perfect time for him to go get his daughter baptized too. Kamari should go get baptized. I mean, I didn't see her in the church thing, but if he went and got his daughter baptized, that'd have been a good thing. Yeah, exactly. That's Sabri. The way that he ran to the church, mind you, through everything this guy been through on YouTube, everything that we've seen, we never seen him run the church, but now he's running the church. It's very interesting. That must be something really. Exactly. It's something really on his mind, to the point where he felt like he had to go to the church. He felt like he had to run to some type of, situation that will make him appear holy. But like I said before, if you go through something that traumatic, because at the end of the day, false allegations can still ruin your reputation. That's what I'm saying. It's like two sides to the coin. You just don't know. Charlene's causing him all distress. That's why. Yeah, exactly. Like I said before, it can be either way, but I'm not going to say it either way, because number one, ain't nobody in here a detective. Ain't nobody in here got the case. Nobody got evidence or camera footage or text messages or proof that he was buying things. We all got to let it unfold, and as it unfolds, we can, get a clearer picture of the events that occurred. But a guilty conscience, yeah, it appears as such to me, but it can be guilty of a lot of things. He lost a lot of money. He no longer has that So Cool channel. He literally never paid the kids. I just felt like it was dead ass wrong for him to allow Royalty and the kids to suffer, especially financially, when you know they was a big part of your success. I just think that shit was wild to me. Yeah, exactly. I don't understand that either, Eastside. Like I said before, I don't want to ever, say why she didn't speak up, because that's really weird questions if you ask me. Because you got a lot of victims that won't speak out for years. Some people ain't speak out until they was an adult. They had to wait until they was in front of others to actually speak on it, or they actually go to these meetings where they're able to express themselves and not in front of family members. So it's not really when she speaks up or why she's not speaking up. It's just a matter of everybody's different. And just like with CJ, it's like it's confusing because some people that get false allegations, they might want to run to the church, and the person that wants to cover up because they did do something will run to the church. So it's like, you got to be iffy. It's a thin line in this matter. Oh, DDG, I don't know why. You know why? DDG, when he left Holly, I think DDG know that he made a grave mistake. So I think he just trying to do anything to keep himself afloat in terms of his mental state, because DDG is like another individual that's like going backwards. Some people never tell them. Lexi living her life right now. Yeah, if you notice one thing too on Lexi's Instagram, you'll notice that every time she out having dinners with them same group of females, So that should let you know that she's iffy as well. Like I said before, but she'll come run to his aid just like his brother, just like his mom. But I believe he do be paying them in the background, because he know they'll jump for a little to nothing. You pay them like $500, they'll get online and say, oh, you know what, y'all talking about CJ so cool, and da 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 da, you talking about my brother. They'll do it for little to nothing. He literally compromised his own relationship, Kenneth, when he did that stupid loyalty challenge. You know damn well that his girl was not for that shit, but CJ paid him a little bit of money, and a lot of people would do anything for some change. So that's really what it is. But I just want to say I thank everybody for the 1,000 subs, and at the end of the day, I'm gonna keep pushing this work, keep giving y'all great content, and like I said before, make sure you guys are subscribed, and I'm out of there.